Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman vs. Hush 2-pack, which contains arguably the best Batman figure from McFarlane Toys to date, with some of the worst problems that they've done to date, and Hush, which is kind of a throwaway. So, we're going to review both of them all in one review. I think we can get it within like a reasonable time, even though they're both completely new figures to themselves. Like they're not just, it's not like Ninja Turtles where it's four of the same figures, what I'm saying. Okay, let's get them off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, we're going to do them one at a time. But like at the same time, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so before we get into it though, question of the day: do you like Hush as a character? To me, least interesting of all the Batman characters, in my opinion. I don't know that much about him. Like maybe there's a storyline or part of the storyline that's really good that I don't know about, and you guys are going to get a question about the story in just a minute from me because I don't know that much, but it doesn't affect the review. So let me know what you think about the character, and you can elaborate why either way if you want to. Okay, so height on this guy is just over 7 inches, which makes him pretty close to just over 18 centimeters. And the sculpt on the head is really nice. It's my favorite thing about this. The fact that they didn't paint the nose bothers me, the nose underneath, because he's not like a mummy or anything. It's just a guy with his face wrapped up, if I'm right about that, which I'm pretty sure I am. But that looks pretty good, except his eyes are solid white, which is a little bit weird. Now, the thing that really bothers me, well, it's two things, kind of. One thing is it's the coat. Two things is it's the paint job and the plastic of the coat. So, it looks so bad. It's so shiny and plasticky and cheap looking. Also, what is this? Is this a Spawn cape? Why is there so much material in an unrealistic way? Like, first of all, it's two-dimensional. The folds are not folds. It's like a flat piece of plastic, more or less, with lots and lots of wrinkles. But there's no, like, this material couldn't be here. If this is just a regular trench coat type of thing, which it is, what is all of this material that's so folded up that it would be, like, out to here if it was actually there? Same thing right here. What is all of this swooshing and swooping and extra materialing? Doesn't make any sense. Also, it stops right here. The split on the front, this is an articulation thing, but still, the split stops right here about 1.25 inches-ish down from the belt area, but on the back, it goes all the way up, straight up to the belt. And again, so much swooshing, so much material, so weird. Like, what shape is his coat that it's hanging like this? It hangs so much farther down in the back, and on this side, it's just weird. It's so weird, and the plastic nature with no paint, it looks terrible. This is like a throwaway thing. So, aesthetically speaking, Hush gets a 2 out of 10, looks like butts. Now, let's do Batman. We're gonna do each segment at once, but then split them. I don't know how to word it. 2-packs are weird. Okay, so just about 19 centimeters. He's got a little bit of height on him, which makes him about 7.5 inches. If you want to see a quick height comparison, even though I just measured him for you, Batman is kind of towering over Hush. So there's that. Now, is this the best Batman? I don't know. Yes, I think it is the best one that they've released so far, but no, it's nowhere near what it should be, and we're going to talk about all of it. I'll do a Photoshop for you guys to show you the differences. He still has a very tiny chest, relatively large waist, and then his legs are probably oversized, though I don't think they would look oversized if his chest was appropriately sized. If you look, his chest, like the perimeter, the outside line of his chest is almost straight up and down with his waist, not counting the belt. But if you add the belt, which you do have to do because that's the profile, he looks like he has birthing hips and no chest and no shoulders, because the shoulders have to be in because that's where the chest is. So it just throws the look off a lot. Secondly, he's still very doughy looking. He's got no muscle definition. He's got like ex-muscular man dad bod vibes going on, kinda. Like no real definition anywhere, especially in the bicep, shoulder, tricep region. There's almost no definition. There's a little bit in the abs. I'm pretty sure we've seen some of these parts before, but mostly not really. It's like they took a rough sculpt and just left it. Like they didn't refine the sculpt at all. It's super weird. And if you look up here, he's got a big meat flap. Look how much plastic there is above the shoulder, where the shoulder connects. That's super weird. They don't do that normally. It's very thick right there, the gray plastic. Very strange. And then the other thing, I'm sorry, there's things, they didn't give us gloves. He has no glove line on his arm. He's just got bare arms with fins connected to him. That's it. And then they made them black. And they made the elbow joint black. That looks like butts. Look what they did for the prototype, which is actually just a render on the card, by the way. They actually have a glove at least painted in an unrealistic way, but also that's super generous photography of a render, it looks like to me, because that gives him a lot more girth in the chest than the actual figure does. Like a lot. It looks so much better than the figure. So yeah, it just looks weird. It looks weird, and I really wish they would start cutting the diaper to give him a little bit of, like, the regular shape rather than just the actual diaper shape. You know, it's just... I see people defending these kind of things all the time. Like, oh, well, it's reasonable that he's got the black elbows and no gloves because McFarlane's trying to save a few bucks. I don't care. It's wrong. These are collectibles of something. If it doesn't look like the thing or look like it's supposed to, there's no point in having it. These aren't things we need. This isn't like bread that's a day old, but we're starving so we'll eat it. These are totally luxury items that if they don't look like they're supposed to, what the hell are we doing buying them? It's freaking weird that they're not doing things correctly. That said, the head is pretty good. It's probably the most accurate head to source material that I've seen from McFarlane. It's really nicely done. I don't get the weird open mouth thing because they're both doing it. Like, are they gonna kiss? What's happening? I don't get it. I don't know what that sculpt is, but it's a nice. Look at that. He actually has the full cranium. Like the whole Batman look is going on. He's got a forehead. It's shaped properly, the slightly squared off edges. It looks like the Hush Batman head. I'm very pleased with that. The paint job is pretty good too. I like that. I like that the bat is inset, like it's an actual separate piece, so there's no painting issues. But then again, there's no paint anywhere on this figure other than the belt. I'm guessing it's not molded in that exact yellow. It looks like there's some paint on top. But yeah, there's like no paint other than the head, so it's kind of glossy and plasticky looking, and then the sculpt is soft. So best Batman ever from them? In some ways, but in other ways, no. Like, the proportions are getting closer to right, but there's still so much wrong with this figure that it's like, is it job security to make more Batmans? I don't know. This guy for an aesthetic gets a 5 out of 10. I can't do this soft sculpt anymore. Why does Batman have no shape in his legs? Or arms? No gloves? No chest? What is happening? Why? Weird. This cape I believe we've seen before. It looks like one that we've seen before. It's a fine cape. It's okay. It's a little bit exaggerated Spawn style, but, you know, whatever. It's okay. Now, as far as accessories for the whole set go, we have this giant dirt brick weird thing. I don't understand why there's brick right there. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I hate to go in on an accessory, but if there's a grave, what are these things called? Tombstones? If that's there, right? Like, so that means they buried a person here. Where's this walkway go? What is happening? What is this? I don't know what's going on here. None of it's painted, by the way. It's just got some weird dry brushing on it. And then the wash on the headstone, that's what it's called. Like, you can see the brush stroke that applied the wash going across here, and then up here. That's not good looking. And I don't know what happened back here. Not that you're going to need to look at the back, but it's just, it looks so cheap. So cheap. And okay, so this is the question I was going to ask storyline-wise. Because I've seen Hush figures where it looks like Jason Todd, but it's not Jason Todd. It's a different character, right? Or did Jason Todd take over Hush's role? I don't know what happened. Someone explain. What does Jason Todd have to do with Hush? Because in my knowledge, Hush is some doctor guy who is basically just a jealous crybaby. So you guys can let me know about the character. So that's the one accessory. That's the display stand. Not to be outdone, by the way. We do get our 2 DC display stands, but in this case, both of mine have this weird starburst pattern on them. So I don't know what's up with that. Then we get 2 batarangs, and then a really wobbly shovel with dirt on it that's not painted. And then we get the collector cards, which make the figures look so much better than they actually do. Hush has a brown, not shiny, yellow baby poop mustard colored trench coat, and Batman actually looks like a decent Batman, like a really decent Batman figure. Neither of the figures look anywhere near as good as these cards, so that is salt in the wound, slap in the face. A fly in the ointment, if you will. So accessory-wise, 2 out of 10. No fist hands for Batman, crap everywhere, all the way around, except for the cards looking better than the figures. All right, let's do Hush's articulation first. Let's get the baby poop guy done. Ball pegs in the neck, always the way to go. His head can do whatever you want it to do, and it looks great doing it. Shoulder, all the way up, no problem. Full rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. As far as coated arms go, jacketed arms, these are fine. Ball hinge wrists, those are okay. Though they shouldn't be the color of the coat, they should be the color of the glove. So that's a little bit weird. Torso has something going on, no idea what. Can't use it anyway. Hips, probably standard McFarlane hips. Yes, they are, but can't really use them anyway. Like, you can do that a little bit. There's a little bit of range going out to the side because of his skirt blowing this way. Like, you could pose it to look decent, but it's the sculpt and the lack of paint and the finish that looks bad. Like, it's not 100% terrible. Like, if you give him a gun or something and just have him stand there on a shelf, yeah, that's fine. But look at that. It's like so flat in 2D and weird. Okay, so for the legs, that's what I was bringing up earlier, is the coat is connected to down here, so there's not that much flex in the front. Lots of flex in the back, which is useless. Time for a cake rating. Ooh, it's flat. Almost literally flat. This guy gets 0 out of 10 for the cake rating. And coincidentally, his diaper is a different color and finish than his pants, which has been a trend for these last few McFarlane figures. He's flat in the front too, poor fella. Legs going forward and back is basically pointless. Knees, pointless. Ankles are the most annoying things. These 3-position ball hinges that have almost no range. It's so annoying to pose these guys in even the most neutral of poses. Toe joint is loose and not good. So, articulation on this guy, 2 out of 10. Part of it is excusable for the jacket, the rest is just not good engineering. From here up, it's fine, but you can't do anything with the legs because of the way they did the jacket. And the ankles suck. Okay, time for Batman. Let's see. He has only the ball peg in the lower neck, which is super unfortunate because for the ultimate Batman figure that they're releasing, having a ball peg for the head to the neck would have been really nice. This is an acceptable way of doing it, but it's definitely better to have... If you're only going to do one, do it at the top of the neck. But you really should do a bottom neck and top of the neck if you feel like spending the budget. So this is acceptable, but it's not ideal. And leaning it back exposes unsculpted part of the neck, which also has very little range. For the shoulders, the ball peg play with the cap, useless. Useless, get rid of it if you're not going to use it. We have this giant meat flap circling around the cap that blocks nothing. Decent range, but like, what is the whole point of that cap? It doesn't serve a purpose because you can't move anything in any meaningful way. Full rotation, bicep swivel is okay. They actually didn't sculpt the bicep onto the shoulder this time, so that's good. Double jointed elbow works fine, no issues there. Ball hinge wrist is okay. Trigger finger hands on Batman for the win. Diaphragm joint on this guy doesn't go back. I feel like we have seen this chest before. Chest and abdomen. Basically no range forward and back, and it's floppy. Side to side, also no range. Rotation is fine. Leaning the bottom part, still very minimal range. You do get some more rotation down there. So far, this is not good. Hips go out to the side. Full on splits. That's a good thing. I like that. That's fine. They're a little floppy, but not too bad. Like, these are acceptable. I'd like them to go to a whole new joint style, but these are okay. You can hear a little bit of ratchet. I don't know if you guys can, but I can hear a little bit of ratchet in there, so that's alright. Same design, though, overall. Thigh swivel, a little bit, that's okay. Going forward, nope, because I didn't cut out the diaper, like I told you. You can't leave a diaper shaped and expect it to have good range. So, let's see. I can flex the diaper a little bit, but the legs aren't even going up horizontal, so very little range. Going back, you get some cake rating. Ooh. He's got like old lady butt. That's not good. That's unfortunate for him. 1, he gets a 1. A little bit better than Hush. Poor fella had nothing, but this guy only gets a 1. Double jointed knees, still kind of ugly but functional, so that is okay. And then the ankle, same thing as Hush. I think he gets 4 positions for his ankle, so slightly better range, but it's still a freaking nightmare to get these guys to stand on these stupid heavy ratchets. All of the McFarlane DC line, these heavy ratchets are a nightmare. Even in a hero pose, they're a problem. It's so annoying. but decent enough range on this guy, and the ball hinge works just fine, technically speaking. Toe joint is too far back and too loose. So, best Batman they've released, only in some ways, but it's still not very good at all. Articulation on this guy is going to get a 6 out of 10. The torso not working, the head being limited. Arms and shoulders are okay, but this whole situation is no good. Hips are no good. Knees are kind of ugly but functional. Ankles don't really function, though they technically do. It's like these figures are just so half-baked. It's unfortunate, very, very unfortunate for a fan of Batman action figures. I am quite saddened by this, and I think you guys mostly will be too. Time for a final verdict on this 2-pack. I would wait. This guy already got a single release. I'm sure this guy's going to at some point. Unless you happen to really like what you see here, in which case you should always buy if you like what you see. No matter what I say, I always encourage people to get what they like. My reviews are meant to be tools and information for you to use however you choose. So if you like it, get it. But I can't in good faith recommend this set. There's so much wrong with it that you have to pay for it, so it's not really worth paying for if you ask me. I'm going to give it a very generous 6 out of 10 overall. It's not a good set. It doesn't feel like a collectible set. It feels like a halfway finished set of collectibles. So, very disappointing. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and I have thousands of reviews already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.